Alright, let's get started. Short little quad tour of Fruit Haven 1 and other areas in Fruit Haven. I'm on my private homestead lot right now, about to take the 6-minute drive down to the Fruit Haven 1 community area. Pretty nice day out, but it rained last night, so there's a little bit of mud on the road. Let's get up this little hill here. Make a nice tight turn past the swales. And we're on the Fruit Haven 1 private road that we use to access our private homestead lots. There's my little encampment over there with a beautiful view of the valley and the distant mountains. Everything to the right side here is still my lot, which I'm going to plant the whole thing with fruit trees eventually. And the left side is the indigenous reserve land. After that, there's no more titled farms. So we're kind of on the frontier here. It's pretty nice. The quads are pretty great for getting around. A little bit easier to drive than a motorcycle. So now on the left-hand side here, there's some land at Fruit Haven 1 that's going to be for sale soon, and the right side is still my lot, which is about 4 hectares. I planted about 1 hectare, built a couple little structures, as you kind of saw over there. Yeah. I always try to go slow through the mud so I don't splash a whole bunch of mud up on my pants. Though when I'm wearing my rain pants, it doesn't really matter. Now we're going to go downhill and to the left, eventually it goes steep down to the Fruit Haven 1 stream, but to the right is still my lot. So we're kind of going around my lot. The road takes this route because it was the flattest route to get to that side of the property. And back there it also goes to Boris's lot. Alright, this last little downhill part takes us down to the main stream that runs through Fruit Haven 1. It's also kind of the end of my lot. And now, right about here, we're crossing the boundary into Fruit Haven 2. Going up the hill, kind of going along the boundary of Fruit Haven 2. And as we take the left turn up here, we'll be going right into the Fruit Haven 2 property. Honking a little bit so the people whipping around the corner in the other direction don't hit me. This big cleared spot to the left is Bob's lot. It's also going to be the future site of the Fruit Haven Community Center. Very beautiful building. And you can also kind of see Giovanni's house in the distance. There's a few people that built houses up in this area of Fruit Haven too. You can't really see it, but there's a driveway on the right here. And following that driveway, then you see Nick and Sarah's house. We're putting a loft in there. Yeah, and that road, I just took a turn onto this road. The other direction goes up to Fruit Haven 3. And eventually Fruit Haven 7, and hopefully we'll get some more farms up there. Continuing down this road, it's going to be a little while. And to the left, there's a big steep ravine that goes down to the Fruit Haven 2 stream. To the right, we had, the lot that we had just passed, and then eventually goes into Malcolm's lot where he built a little cabin house, hooked up some water. You can see the blue silhouette of the mountains way off in the distance there. Okay, after this turn, we're crossing back into Fruit Haven 1, so the road kind of crosses back. And there's, you just saw for a second on to the right, the Pyramidadora house, the pyramid-shaped clay tile roof. That's Jason and Michelle's. Alright, continuing down the hill. Now this is the main hill that goes up to the big flat part on the back of the Fruit Haven properties, so going down maybe 50 meters in elevation. There's a switchback road that goes down the hill. We kind of line this left side there with vetiver grass. And, well, that's not vetiver, but that's vetiver. Hasn't really gotten very big yet. To make it easier to get down this steep hill, we just made a few switchbacks. This part's a little bit muddy, but we're going to hopefully improve it soon by putting more cement tracks like the one that I'm on right now, which makes it really easy to not slip when it's muddy. We could also do gravel, but it's actually sometimes cheaper to do cement tracks than to gravel the entire thing. Yeah, over there you can see the Rio Zamora and the Rio Chuchambletsa, 2 rivers that combine there. Over there you can see the bridge that we walk in on, kind of in the distance, through the trees. The right side of this part of the road we lined with Mexican sunflower to help stop the erosion. Up there, the vetiver was also to help stop the erosion. This last turn is the last little decline before we get back down to the public road. And then, of course, the community areas. And we just crossed back into, well, we crossed back into Fruit Haven 2 for a second. Now we're still on Fruit Haven 2, and then we'll cross back into Fruit Haven 1 at the end. So the road kind of goes through all the Freehaven properties, 1, 2, 3, 7. Although Freehaven 4 is going to have a different road. More on that soon. Stay tuned to the Freehaven website for more information. Freehaven 4. This part of the road we gravelled is close to the river, so it was pretty easy to do that. So the government eventually gravels this road on here. Now we're onto the public road back in Freehaven 1. The government hasn't gravelled it yet, but they eventually will, and then we can bring gravel in a lot cheaper. We made a couple little jumps here for motocross practice, you know, getting some skills. The neighbors made them with our excavator. Can kind of do a jump here, it's pretty fun. In the video it kind of looks like I'm doing a big jump. I'm really not, I'm just kind of driving up and down the bumps. And now we're entering the Freehaven 1 community area. This entrance kind of takes us through the workshop where all the machines are. The river's on the left there. People fixing some motorcycles and quads and stuff. That's where all the mechanic work happens. Driving through the nursery. Some guys finishing up work for the day. And yeah, here's our parking lot for Freehaven 1 Community House. Hope you all enjoyed the video.